Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Link, Ohio here, back at it again with another podcast episode. Tonight's podcast episode is going to be about the haunted Plattsburgh schoolhouse in Plattsburgh, Ohio. I actually went out there and I've investigated this place twice, and each time it did not fail. It did not let me down to get scared out of my mind whatsoever. The story behind the Plattsburgh schoolhouse is that it was way back when there was a little girl that was hung inside the Plattsburgh schoolhouse. There's two different stories. She was either a little white girl or she was a little African American girl that was hung by the Ku Klux Klan. I can't confirm either one of those stories by the research because it gives me one or the other story. There was also a janitor that worked in the school, and in those days he was a very bad man. He would take the kids down to the boiler room and would do horrible things to them, and it's just unspeakable. I don't even want to talk about it. He was just a very bad person. So he ended up dying there, and it's said that his spirit haunts the school along with the little girl that was hung there. Now, walking in there, nowadays it's a garage for just semi-trucks and big heavy equipment to go in and be worked on. And for a while there, it was ran as an airsoft playground where guys can go in and do the airsoft guns and run around and shoot each other. But when we went in, it was by itself. It was just abandoned. And I remember we went in there and we put our tape recorder down and we left it in there by itself in one of the rooms that was near the library. And it picked up whispering, talking, and we went back, and the place was just eerie and just creepy altogether. And there was, I think, 3 floors, if I'm correct. This was so many years ago since I've been there, and it was either 2 or 3 floors. And some of the flooring was really dangerous, so we couldn't go in. But I remember going in, and they did a REM pod session, the people that we were with there, and the REM pod they would say, come near this light and it'll light up. And every time they said that, man, it came right to it. I know the guy I was hunting with at the time, he was, both times, I was there with different people. Of course, I was there with Jeremy, because he goes on 99% of all investigations that we go on, and he was strangled in one of the classrooms. Like, he walked in and just literally felt like somebody was strangling him to where he almost passed out. Now, another guy I hunted with, Danny, he was in there and he was attacked by something, and we was up on the upper floor in one of the classrooms, and they were conducting like an EVP session, and everybody was talking to it. And Danny just got attacked. Like, it scratched him. It went after him. He felt like he had to get out of there. The first time that we went there, it was just me and Jeremy. And actually, I've been there 3 times. So the first time we was there, it was just me and Jeremy. And we're walking through this place. And it's just so big, and it's completely pitch dark. And this is like at the beginning stages of investigating for me and for Jeremy. And we just had a flashlight and our phones. And back then they were flip phones. So we were trying to use the audio recorder on the flip phones. And so we can't see anything because back then the flashlights they're weak, man. Like, they ain't shine anything. So we're we're in the auditorium. And in the auditorium, there's these windows that go up, and they're pretty high up, man. Like, they go up to at least the top floor, but it's the auditorium, gymnasium, stage area. So it's just, there's no stairs or anything to it. It's just, they're really high up. And we're looking, and we look up and we see a set of eyes, like red glowing eyes, looking into the window with a shadowy head. And we're like, man, we're really high up. What the heck could that be? It looked like it was just standing there. Like, it was like it was the bottom window, and it's just standing there looking. So I shine my flashlight up there, and it darts away. Well, then it comes back. So I'm trying to debunk it. Maybe it's just like a light anomaly. I'm shining my light back and forth and everything. Well, this time it wasn't going away. It was staying there. But when the light would hit it, it would still be just as dark as it was before the light would hit it. So that freaked us out. We decided to go down to the basement because we heard where the basement is. There's a lot of activity. So we go down to the basement. All right, you got to remember, there's no wood in, like, the floor above us is cement because it's the auditorium. There's no wood. It's all cement. It's old school, man. Before they did the hardwood. Now the upper class rooms was like hardwood, but that was way above the auditorium. So if anybody's walking up there, we're not going to be able to hear it. So we're down in the basement, and we hear what sounds like clear as day cowboy boots walking across a hardwood floor. I mean, like, it's right above us. And we're looking at each other like, man, what the hell is that? And it's just cowboy boots, just stomp, 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 stomp. And I'm like, man, I don't know what that is. So we're going through the basement, and we find this room where there's a hole in the wall that leads to another room, but there's no way to get to this other room. It's almost like it's a secret room, or it was a room at one point in time, and they was just trying to build over it, make a wall so they couldn't get to it. I don't know. So we're debating who's going to try to get through this hole. So we both go towards the hole, and then Jeremy he kind of goes to the hole, and I stay back. And Jeremy turns around, he's talking to me, and I feel something hit me in the back of my heel, like hard. Man, what was that? And he's just got this dumbfounded look on his face. He goes, I caught it on camera. He goes, Ed, a board, it was like a 2x4, lifted up on its own and smacked you in the back of the leg, right around where your heel is, like where the Achilles tendon is. And I was like, no way. So we get out our voice recorder and on the phones, and we're trying to do an EVP session. I'm asking questions, and I caught two things. The first one, it just said evening, like it was saying hi to me or something. And then I said, why did you hit me? And the second one clearly said leave. You know, so I did what it said. I left the basement. We started to go upstairs. We stopped in the auditorium again to do some more flashlight work. The flashlight was coming on and off on commands, man. Like, hey, if you're really here, turn the flashlight on. Boom, flashlight would come on. If you want to talk to us and you want us to stay here, turn the flashlight off. Boom, the flashlight would go off. Then we would just sit there and nothing would happen. For like 15, 20 minutes, we'd sit there. So we'd ask a question. Are you here with us in the auditorium? Turn the flashlight on. Boom, the flashlight would turn on. So we did that for like 2 hours. We're sitting there talking to this thing, asking a bunch of questions. We asked if it was the janitor, and the flashlight would turn on. We asked the janitor, if you did things to little kids here, turn the flashlight off. The flashlight would turn off. So we're debating on whether to go down to the boiler room to go do something down there. And as we're talking about it, the flashlight flickers on and off constantly. So it's almost like it's wanting us to go downstairs. Again, this could be all coincidence, guys. It could be a malfunctioning light. It could have been just, right place, right time to ask the questions, and then the light kicks on. I leave that up to you guys to whether you believe it or not. So we go down to the boiler room where all these horrible things took place to these children. And as we're getting down there, we notice that there's flies everywhere in this one spot of the boiler room. This one spot, there's just flies everywhere. And I've been a demonologist longer than I have been an investigator. I've always been into demonology. And I know that flies are a sign of the devil. And so are mice. And there was a ton of mice. I mean, these things were crawling up the wall. Never seen a mouse crawl up the wall before until that night. And flies and mice everywhere in this one spot. And again, it could have just been because it's an old rundown building and they were just starting to remodel it, and it just could just been, coincidence again. So after that, we start asking questions, and it starts getting really weird. I start getting really sick, really dizzy. Like, I just want to get out of there. Like, I'm terrified beyond belief, and I want to go. But every time I would try to say something to Jeremy, like, hey, let's go, I couldn't say anything. Because we was catching so much evidence. The flashlights was just It was just killer. The K2 meter that Jeremy had at the time was just flipping back and forth. Like I said, we had like the basics of the basics back then. And, you know, and we're sitting there thinking, oh man, we're hot shit. We're getting all this evidence, so let's keep going. And finally, after about a half hour, I said, dude, we got to move on. I'm not feeling good at all. Like, I'm getting ready to throw up. So he says, all right, let's go. And as we're getting ready to leave, we hear what sounds like a girl crying. And it says, stay. Like, we didn't hear the stay, but we heard what sounded like crying. And as we went upstairs, we checked our phones for the voice recorders, and we heard what it said, stay. Almost like this little girl did not want us to leave. So we ended up leaving that night. You know, we went home, checked the investigation, checked all the evidence, and we got a lot of good stuff. So years down the road, and me and Jeremy decide to go back. This time we got equipment. We got everything we need. We go in, same feeling again. Almost the same exact feeling as it was last time. And we started out in the auditorium like we did, and we waited and waited and waited, and you know, we kept looking in the windows and nothing would come. So we're like, you know, we said, well, let's go downstairs in the basement, try that again. So we go down in the basement, we find that same hole. This time the hole's bigger, like they've broken it out or someone's gotten into it. Now granted, this is like 5 or 6 years later from the first time that we were there. And we go to get in this hole, and I don't know, man, it was weird. Like, we're looking into it. Jeremy's like, screw it, let's go in. And I said, okay, cool, let's go in the hole. So we go in the hole, and it's almost like, it sounded like someone threw a brick at us. Like, I don't know, man. It happened once, we tried it again, it happened again, it sounded like somebody threw something. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe something's trying to tell us not to go in here. So I chickened out. I did, and I talked him into not going in. So we go to leave, and we're like, he's like, yeah, I gotta go in there. I said, man, I want to go in there too, I really do. So we decided to leave a voice recorder. We had like different digital voice recorders. So we decided to leave one in there and let it record while we went back upstairs. So we stuck it in there, we put our hand through the hole as far as we could and stuck it on the ground, left it on. We went upstairs, we went through the classrooms again, and Jeremy went inside one of the closets, and I went inside one of the other closets in the classrooms, and we started doing EVP sessions. And as we're doing these EVP sessions, we both hear knocking, and we both think it's each other. So we're yelling at each other to stop, and we're both saying, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. So it keeps going, so we eventually get kind of mad at each other, and we come out, and we're like, dude, it's not me. And he's like, dude, it's not me either. So I'm thinking, okay, there's somebody in here. Either a homeless guy staying here, or somebody's broke in here, or they seen us in here, they broke in, and they're messing with us. So we searched the entire place. Didn't find a soul. Not one person. So we're like, okay, all right, that was kind of weird. So I said, hey man, let's go back to that same classroom at where you got choked out in. And he's like, yeah man, let's see if we can redo that. We go in there, and we're both talking. And at this point, the room is just so ran down, like the ceiling is falling in, and you can see where they had a drop ceiling, and that's all falling in. And we're walking through there, and he starts to feel a little choked up. I said, dude, what's going on? He's like, man, I think it's happening again. So we're saying, is anything here? If there's anything here, knock. And we heard knocks, but it was 3 knocks. And being a demonologist, I know that usually 9 times out of 10 means something bad. It's the mocking of the Trinity. And plus with the flies and the mice the last time, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be one of them, those investigators, like everything's demonic. Like you hear a light throw, oh man, it's a demon. Or you hear, God, demon. You know, I'm not one of them. But I noticed the signs of them. And I said, man, I don't know if this is good or bad. I said, I don't know what we should do. He said, let's keep doing this and then move on to the next one. I said, all right, cool, let's do that. So as we're walking out of that classroom, we both get choked up again. And we finally say, you know, we're done with this classroom. Let's just move on to something else. So we go back up to the library where the digital recorder caught all that stuff, the whispering and the talking. And we're sitting there, and I've got the K2 meter on. He's got his K2 meter on. It's going crazy. Green to red, green to red, green to red. That's answering questions. We did the flashlights again. Again, it's answering questions. And the EMF detector is just going insane. And we're like, there is something here. We need to talk. So we set up a digital voice recorder, and we turned on the Ovilus box. The Ovilus box constantly said, don't, and then go. Over and over again. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. And then we heard what sounded like crying again. So at this point, we're freaked out, and we both feel kind of out of it. So I said, all right, cool, let's go down to the boiler room. Let's hit this last spot. Let's get out of here. So we go down to the boiler room again. Same thing, man. Flashlights are working. I think it's the janitor again. And again, we hear crying. And again, we go to, there's flies down there again, but no mice this time. And again, we go to leave, and again, we hear crying. And again, we capture a EVP of a little girl saying, stay. So I said, man, this is crazy. I said, man, it's 5 a.m. Let's just head out. I said, we can go home and check out all this evidence, and if we want to come back, we can just come back. So we're trying to leave, and we can't find our way out. And we know our way around this building. Every time we go into a door, it was like another hall. Dude, these were hallways and doors that we'd never seen before. And I'm like, what is going on? And if I hadn't stopped Chuck one time, or Jeremy, his nickname's Chuck, he would have fell down this hole in the floor. Like, we was walking and everything was cool, and I just happened to look. I said, Jeremy, and I grabbed him, and he would have fell down this massive hole that we never seen before. We're going in the rooms, and there's machinery in these rooms. Like old machinery from way back in the day, still like bolted to the ground. Like, dude, this is not right. We can't find our way out. We're both, at this point, we're panicking. We're freaking out. We're just running, and we're trying to find our way out. We can't find our way out. I said, look, if I have to, I will break these windows, and I will jump out of this building. I said, I'll do it. I will smash all these windows and jump out to get out of here. And as soon as I said that, he goes, man, I found it. And we found the exit door. I mean, we ran around this place for like 2 hours trying to find our way out. And I said, I'm smashing windows. I'm done. And I said, I'm getting out of here. Like, at that point, I was at the panic point where I'm getting out of here. Something's trying to trap us in here. And this is too much like the scary horror movies. I'm getting out of this place. And as soon as I said that I was going to start smashing windows, all of a sudden Jeremy found it. And it was just the weirdest thing ever. Like, it was taking us down hallways that we never seen. Lockers in the walls where one side of the lockers were open, the other side of the lockers were not. It was just the weirdest thing ever. So we finally leave, and we're driving away, and I'm just like, dude, every time we come here, it doesn't disappoint. It's almost like Waverly Hills. Every time I go to Waverly Hills, something happens at Waverly Hills. And that's when we found all this evidence that I just told you about. And I love this place. It still stands. I'd love to get back in it and do another investigation, but it's with new owners. I've tried knocking. Nobody was there. I left a note. I didn't hear anything, nothing of anything like that. So I'm still trying to get in there. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode about the Plattsburgh schoolhouse. Like I said, I leave this up to you guys to believe whether it's real or not. I have an open mind. I want you guys to just kind of do what you want to do and figure out how you want to figure it out. And thank you guys so much for the love and support. You guys will hear again from me tomorrow night. Thanks. Bye, everybody.